The orbital academy floated high above Terra 3 like a silver ring catching starlight. Inside its wide halls, cadets from 100 worlds practiced roles in zero-G, argued over flight sim scores, and dreamed loud about piloting the sleek starfighters that guarded the trade lanes. Kael never joined the noise. He was the thin human with dark hair that fell over his eyes, always in the back row, fingers tapping quietly on his datapad. When the instructor barked a question, he answered in short, clear words. Never more, never less. The others called him Ghost behind his back. Instructors shook their heads. "He'll wash out," they muttered. "No fire. No voice." Then came the day every cadet feared and craved, Deathworld survival training. The lights in the drop bay flashed red. The floor opened. One by one, the class fell through clouds toward Ver 9, a green hell where the gravity pressed like a giant hand, where vines dripped acid that ate through metal boots in minutes, where the air itself tasted like rust. The alien cadets laughed as they landed, flexing tentacles, flashing scales, stretching wings. They wore armor grown from their own skins, packed gadgets that hummed and glowed. Kael hit the ground last, knees bent, no sound. Just a standard colony jumpsuit, scuffed boots, and a plain steel knife on his belt. No upgrades, no toys. A tentacled cadet from the water world slithered close, suction cups popping. "Look, the soft skin brought a toothpick." Laughter rippled. A winged one swooped low, talons clicking. "Bet he screams first." Kael didn't answer. He knelt, checked the edge of his knife with his thumb, tightened the laces on his boots until they bit. The jungle breathed around them, wet heat, distant roars, leaves the size of doors dripping red sap. The instructor's voice crackled in their earpieces. 72 hours. Find water, find shelter, stay alive. No rescue until the end. The group split fast. The big ones took the lead, pushing through vines with plasma cutters. Kael watched for 3 heartbeats, then turned the opposite way. No map, no plan he shared. Just a quiet step into the green, boots sinking in mud, shoulders loose. Behind him, someone shouted, "Ghost is running!" The laughter faded as the jungle swallowed him whole. The vines closed. The light turned green and thick. Kael moved like he belonged, ducking under thorns, testing each route before he trusted it, eyes scanning, ears open. He didn't look back. The Deathworld had his full attention now, and for the first time, the quiet one felt right at home. Night on Ver 9 came down like a thick green blanket. The twin moons barely pushed light through the leaves, and the jungle filled with sounds that made your skin crawl. Wet slithers, sharp clicks, something far off screaming like metal on metal. By the time the first stars blinked, half the class was gone. One tentacled cadet stepped in sink mud and vanished with a gurgle. A winged one brushed a red flower and dropped twitching poison racing through blue veins. Their comms crackled with panic, then went quiet. Kael heard it all through his earpiece, but kept moving. No footprints, no broken twigs, just the soft press of boots on moss. He found a spot between 2 giant roots, dug a small hole, and struck his single match. One try, the fire caught small but steady. He'd spotted a viper earlier, thick as his wrist, scales dull green. While it slept coiled in a low branch, he'd slipped up, grabbed it behind the head, and ended it quick with his knife. Now the meat sizzled on a flat stone, fat popping. Kael ate slow, saving half. Then he climbed the tree, tied himself to a thick limb with his belt, and slept light, knife in hand. Morning mist hung low when the ground shook. Heavy steps. The Krath cadet pushed through the vines, 8 feet of gray armored muscle, spikes along its back, eyes like hot coals. It stopped at the edge of Kael's camp, sniffed the dying fire, and hissed through rows of teeth. Human weak. Kael sat up slow, cut a strip of viper meat, and held it out. The Krath stared, confused. Food from prey? It took the meat, tore it in half with one bite, chewed. Juice ran down its chin. Before it could speak, the air split with a roar. A vine drake burst from the canopy, long as a shuttle, jaws wide, vines whipping like ropes. The Krath raised its claws. Kael was already moving. He grabbed a fist-sized rock, hurled it hard. Crack straight into the drake's eye. The beast screamed, turned. Kael dropped, rolled under its belly, and drove his knife up, clean, deep, between scales. Hot blood sprayed. The drake thrashed once, twice, then crashed dead. Silence. The Krath stood frozen, claws still up. Kael wiped his blade on leaves, breathing hard but steady. He met the big alien's eyes. "Quiet doesn't mean scared," he said, voice low, calm. The Krath looked at the dead drake, then at the small human with blood on his hands and fire in his eyes. It lowered its claws. For the first time, it didn't hiss. It just nodded, slow, heavy. Kael offered the rest of the viper. The Krath took it. They ate together in the morning light, two survivors in a jungle that wanted them dead. By day 3, the comms crackled with one name: Kael. Ghost is still moving. Ghost took down a drake. Ghost shared food with the Krath. The words bounced from earpiece to earpiece like sparks. Nobody had expected the quiet human to last an hour, let alone 3 days. The jungle had swallowed the loud ones first, then the sky split open. Thunder rolled so hard the ground shook. Acid rain hissed down, eating leaves, metal, hope. The instructor's voice cut through the static. "Pick up zone, grid 7, move now." The class stumbled toward the river that separated them from safety. What had been a rope bridge that morning was now a dripping skeleton, cables melted, planks gone. The water below churned black and hungry. The avian Zin flapped up, wings wide. "I'll fly you across." 2 cadets grabbed his talons. He rose, fought the wind, then a gust shredded his feathers. Both cadets screamed as they fell. One hit rocks, the other vanished under foam. The Zin spiraled down, one wing torn, and didn't get up. Silence, rain, fear. A shape stepped out of the mist, Kael, soaked, uniform ripped to strips. In his hands, a thick rope braided from tough vines and the sleeves he'd cut from his own jacket. No one saw him make it. No one asked how. He looped one end around the thickest tree, yanked tight, knots sure. Then he walked the rope, hand over hand, legs dangling, wind whipping him like a flag. Acid rain burned his skin, but he didn't slow. Halfway across, lightning flashed. The rope swayed. Kael kept moving. He reached the far bank, tied the other end to a root, and pulled it taut. One by one, he became the bridge. The Krath went first, heavy, careful, claws digging into the rope. Kael braced, boots sliding in mud, arms shaking. The Krath made it. The Zin limped next, one wing dragging. Kael hauled him up like a sack. Even the centipede-like Dren, who'd called humans slow meat, crawled across, all legs trembling. Kael pulled, steadied, never let go. Last cadet safe, rope sagging, rain still falling. Kael looked at his hands, palms shredded, blood mixing with rain. He tore leaves from a broad plant, wrapped them tight, tied with a strip of cloth. No whining, no rest. He pointed forward. "Pickup's that way." The class followed the quiet human through the storm, boots splashing, hearts loud. The ghost had become the guide. The pit waited at the end of the test. A wide crater sunk into the jungle floor, walls sharp with razor grass that sliced skin on contact, floor crawling with hunger-mad beasts. 6 legs, teeth like knives, eyes red with need. Only one team could call extraction. The rule was simple. Win or stay. The alien cadets grouped fast. The Krath sharpened claws. The Zin checked wing straps. The centipede-like Dren coiled, venom dripping. They formed packs, weapons out, voices low with plans. Kael stood apart. No pack, no weapon but his knife. He checked the edge, slipped it away, and walked down the slope alone. Boots crunched on dry leaves. The beasts smelled him coming. Minutes passed. The cadets watched from the rim, breath held. Then the charge, a wave of muscle and teeth, dust flying. The Alpha led, huge, scarred roar shaking the air. Kael didn't run. He stopped in the center, arms wide, and made a sound, low, rolling, not human. The Alpha slowed, sniffed. The pack circled, confused. Kael had spent the night before in a hollow log, rain dripping through cracks. He'd found a dying cub, small, leg broken, left behind. He'd set the bone with sticks, fed it water from his canteen, learned its cries. Now he used them. The same soft rumble, the same click of tongue. The alpha's ears flicked. It stepped closer, nose to Kael's chest. Then, slow, heavy, it lay down. The others followed, one by one, heads low. Kael walked forward. The pack parted. He led them out like dogs on an invisible leash, past razor grass, up the slope. The cadets stared, jaws open. The Krath's claws dropped. The Zin's wings folded. The Dren's coils loosened. At the rim, Kael stopped. The beasts sat behind him, waiting. He raised one hand, quiet signal. The alpha huffed, turned, and the pack melted back into the crater. Kael faced the class. His hands were cut from grass, shirt torn, face dirty. He smiled, small, tired. The Krath stepped forward, bowed its head until horns touched dirt. "You lead without voice," it said, voice rough with respect. Kael shrugged. "I just listen." The comms crackled. Extraction granted. The quiet human had won the pit, without a single strike. Dawn broke clean over Ver 9, the acid clouds gone, sky pale gold. The extraction shuttle dropped silent, engines humming low. The class stood in a ragged line on the pickup pad, cut, bruised, soaked, but breathing. 23 cadets had gone in. 23 came out. Because of the quiet human at the end of the row. The instructors waited inside the shuttle bay, faces hard. They plugged the helmet cams into the big screen. Footage rolled. Kael starting a fire with one match, sharing viper meat, walking the storm rope hand over hand, blood dripping. Then the pit, beasts charging, then lying down like pets at a soft sound from a muddy human. No shouting, no panic. Just action. The lead instructor, a scarred old avian, clicked the feed off. Silence. Then he nodded once. Deathworld certified. All of you, the Krath stepped forward first. 8 feet tall, armor cracked, eyes still wide from the pit. It raised one massive claw and set it gentle on Kael's shoulder. "You are pack," it said, voice deep, final. The highest honor a Krath could give. The Zin bowed low, wings folded. The Dren clicked its mandibles in respect. Kael stood still, hands wrapped in leaf bandages, face calm. He didn't speak, just nodded back. Back at the Orbital Academy a week later, the halls felt different. Cadets who once laughed at Ghost now moved aside when he walked. He still took the back seat, hair over his eyes, data pad quiet in his lap. But when the instructor asked a question about gravity slings or beast patterns, Kael's hand went up. Slow, sure. The room went still. Everyone listened. His answers were short, clear, right. No bragging. No need. In the mess hall, the Krath saved him a seat. The Zin brought extra water. Even the Dren stopped calling humans slow meat. Kael ate, listened, smiled small when someone told a bad joke. The Silent One had spoken, not with loud words, but with fire, rope, blood, and a pack of death beasts that followed him like dogs. Word spread fast through the trade lanes. Pilots told it in bars. Engineers sketched his rope bridge on napkins. The Academy pinned a new badge on his chest. Deathworld certified, small silver circle with a claw mark. Kael wore it under his collar out of sight. He didn't need it to shine. Years later, when new cadets asked who passed the unpassable test, the old ones pointed to the quiet human in the back row. That's him, the one who listens. And the galaxy remembered. Sometimes the strongest voice is the one that waits, watches, and survives. Add to chat.